everyone, it's Susan and I am going to be working through some mobility with you over the next week. I know that everyone has been talking to me about being a little bit stiff, wanting to have some more mobility, being a little bit bendier, and I wanted to address some really common areas of mobility that many people have issues with. So today we're going to talk about shoulders and your back, and a lot of the really common issues we see because of the kind of work that we do in today's society. Being a lot of us are on our computer every day. When we're here, we've got our shoulders internally rotated, our back is really stretched thin across. Many of us don't do enough back strengthening exercises, so today we're going to look at mobility for your upper and mid back, and also one strengthening exercise to add to that. Inside your workouts, you may find back strengthening exercises, and if you don't, you should really incorporate those into your day, and you can ask me more questions about that if you need to. So we're going to walk through some mobility exercises. Those are different than stretches. Mobility exercises are moving through a range of motion, and I prefer them to start versus a static stretch. And I actually prefer them to finish too. But when I'm starting out a workout, I always do mobility. I don't do static stretching because it can weaken the muscle before I'm getting ready to do heavy work. So the two things I'm going to need, I'm using a foam roller today and a rolled up towel. If you don't have a foam roller, that's fine. You can use a towel or a block or a yoga block or anything that you have that's going to elevate your knee just for one of the exercises. If you don't have any of those things, that's fine. You can still do a lot of the exercises. So to get started, we're going to do the most important exercise that I really believe that you can do every day, and that is neck knotting. We're going to do that in a TV watching position, which means that we're going to be propped up on our elbows, laying down on the floor. You're going to be right here. I'm pushing my chest up. I'm not letting myself sink into my shoulder blades. All right, I'm pushed up. Again, this is going to be, if you don't practice this, this itself is going to be a strengthening exercise because you're working on firing up the muscles of the upper back. And we're just going to neck knot, looking up at the ceiling, tucking chin to chest, in a non-painful range of motion. I could do neck knots all day. We're just going to do about 10 of each exercise. But if you want to do it for a minute, see how it feels. You should feel like your upper back, if you haven't done these before, is firing up. So we'll do that. Then we're going to do same neck knots, just looking over our shoulder. The goal here, actually, with the neck knots looking over your shoulder, is to be able to see the foot of your opposite side leg. So if you can't do that, just note that, and that's something to work towards. You'll see when I nod over my shoulder, I'm dropping that shoulder slightly towards, thinking about dropping it towards the opposite hip, making a crisscross shoulder-hip connection. Those are the two most important neck knots you can do. Again, still working on keeping my chest up. I can feel my back firing up. All right. Once I've done my neck knots, I'm going to lay on my side. This is where my towel is going to come in. And my foam roller. Lay my head on my towel. My foam roller I'm just using to keep my knee up and up right at belt line or slightly above my belt line because I don't want my hip to open up when I'm doing this. Hands are out at chest height, and I'm going to open up like I'm opening a book. Thinking about like, not really, but like I'm cracking the spine of a book. Right? You know when you open up a new book and it goes, and some people say, oh no, don't do that. Don't actually crack your spine. I mean, if it happens, it's going to happen. I'm doing about 10 on this section. Again, keeping my knee, my upper leg the knee high. The other one can just hang wherever is comfortable. I should feel some movement through this upper mid back, okay? For ladies, that's right about your bra line where your bra snaps together. Flip. Same thing on this side. Opening up. Keeping my head laying on the towel, looking the direction that my hands and knees are going, other than the hand that's opening up. Also getting a great stretch through the hand, through the shoulder, the front of the shoulder that's opening. All right, we do want to do that. We want to open up those shoulders because so much of our life we do this, right? Whether we're shivering against the cold, whether working on our computer, driving along in our car for our commute. Okay, so I'm going to open my shoulder both directions. Then I'm going to move to an all fours position. All fours position. Wrists are underneath my shoulders. Knees are underneath my hips. In line. All right, and my head is neutral, which means my head's not hanging down. My head's not up, although you can do this right here. That's totally fine. We're going to do a cat-cow. So that means I'm going to inhale, arch my back, look up at the ceiling. Exhale, tuck my chin to my chest, round the back. Working on keeping my shoulders over my wrists. Again, I'm getting another form of neck nods in here. Can't ever have too many neck nods, just FYI. When I'm in an all fours position, I'm actively thinking about rotating my elbows back towards my body, not letting them creep forward, because then my shoulder's just internally rotating. Okay, once I've done my cat-cow about 8 to 10 times, I'm going to take my finger, put that right behind my ear, my hand right behind my ear, elbows out to the ceiling. Inhale, elbow goes up to the ceiling. Exhale, elbow goes across my body towards my knee. Inhale, exhale. And you can really tuck down in that to get some movement through that mid back. Let's do it on the other side. Plant this hand, rotate my shoulder or rotate my elbow out. Inhale. Okay, that will be my last all fours position. Last thing I'm going to do is get down on the ground. And I'm going to get back into that TV watching position. All I'm going to do is have my shoulders, my hands slightly, my elbows, forearms slightly outside my shoulders. I'm going to come down and press up. Only in a non-painful range of motion. Okay. Just some gentle strengthening. If that bugs your low back, don't do it. Last thing that you're going to do is come against a wall, seated or standing. I want you to think about having your tailbone, shoulder blades, head against the wall. Open up. Slide your hands up. So open up, elbows and fingers if you can get them to the wall. Otherwise, just slightly off the wall. Slide your hands up. Slide your hands down. Elbows up, Elbows come down. I just drove for 5 hours yesterday and I could totally feel like this is totally opening up my chest. Again, anytime you can do this, get in 10 wall slides. Awesome. This is actually hard for me. All right. Slide through that range of motion, keeping everything on the wall, and that's where you're going to end today. That's going to help with rounded shoulders, some of the internal rotation from doing our activities of daily living, and it's going to strengthen up your back, which is good for posture. It's good for counteracting all of those shoulder issues that we have from going forward. If you have any questions, hit me up.